Hi everyone. So having looked at the basics of what word choice is in the context of a close reading paper, what we're now going to do is have a look at a particular example of a word choice question from a National 5 close reading past paper and show you what an answer to that would look like. For higher students, you're in the wrong place, but there is a separate video for you as well. So let's have a look and see what the score is with word choice in National 5. So you'll be asked either a direct question about the author's use of word choice, or you'll be asked to comment on the author's use of language. The use of language is the catch-all term for all of this analysis stuff, but if you see it, word choice is one of the options. As I explained in the sort of introduction to word choice video, the focus really needs to be on connotations. So we're not asking you to write down, what a word means. We're asking you to be able to tell us what that particular word suggests. So why is it being used instead of an alternative word that might have meant the same thing? The implications of the words will be different. And the example from the intro video was the difference between somebody having died, been killed, and been murdered. The implications of those words are different, and that's where the analysis would be. You need to quote for word choice questions. The quotation should be just one or maybe two words. What people sometimes do is they try and quote like an entire sentence and then say like the author's word choice is effective because no marker is going to be fooled by this, right? If you want to comment on word choice, then you need to comment on a specific word or sometimes pair of words. And then, as you can see on the screen there, the model I would recommend would be to approach it by saying this suggests, purely because it kind of forces you to do what you're meant to be doing. If you write down this suggests, it makes you get into connotations as opposed to just simple meaning. So let me show you an example of what all that might look like. So here is a use of language question. It says examples of language, use of language, from one of the past papers. I think it's last year's. And I'm just going to show you how I would do one of the possible answers for that. So you can see it's a 4-mark question. You get a mark for the quotation in National 5. So that means we're looking for 2 examples. And that's exactly what the question says. So it all lines up quite easily. Remember as well, it says lines 21 to 27. So if you find an example out with that range, you can't use it. You won't get any marks for it. It's only within the range that you've been given. But within lines 21 to 27, there are various examples of, word choice in this case being used to show how strange the visit to McDonald's was. The example I'd have gone for is the most obvious one, which is, the phrase wacky idea. The word you're actually looking at here is wacky, but you'd probably put in wacky idea just to be clear. And that's the answer that I would have down. Wacky idea suggests something that's both new and bizarre. I think you'd want to get at the bizarre thing, because it could have said it seemed a novel idea or it seemed an interesting idea. That would give you the idea of it being something new. But sorry, the connotations of wacky go beyond that. They give you this sense of it being something sort of bizarre, something kind of out there, and that's getting at this idea of the visit to McDonald's seeming strange. So that's the key thing you had to get to. So if you'd written down there exactly what you can see on the page, wacky idea in inverted commas, then this suggests something that is both new and bizarre, at National 5, you'd be getting your 2 marks for that. In a use of language question like this one, as a housekeeping thing, I tend to prefer it if people also write down the technique. So it would be wacky idea dash word choice, but it's not actually essential if you're being asked about use of language. Okay, so that's an example for National 5 in word choice. We'll also go on next to look at things like using imagery and using sentence structure. Usual situation, any issues, anything you're not sure of or need a hand with, just give me a shout and I'll do what I can for you.